Hi, my name is Matt Mitchell. I'm from Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and I'm a lifelong resident of the state of Iowa. I would like to share my concerns that I am highly disappointed in the turn of events that have taken place in the last years of the Trump administration, both of them, particularly with Elon Musk appearing as one of the leads, which he was not elected for anything. I'm disappointed in the fact that Marionette Miller Meeks remains hidden from her constituents, so we can't voice concerns to her. And if we do hear back, we just get little thank you letters. The other thing that really upsets me as a lifelong educator is the fact of the demolition of the Department of Education. Turning that over to the states, I believe, is a huge mistake. Iowa has already shown that it cannot handle that under the leadership of Kim Reynolds. That's just going to continue to further deteriorate what's going on. Trump is not a king. Trump is not a president. Trump does not represent me. And for those of you in Congress, I hope that you will start sticking up for most of our Americans who want to see something different happening in our country.
Hi. I'm Anita from Mount Pleasant. I've been lifelong Iowan, most of it spent here in southeast Iowa. It's an amazing place to grow up. I've loved this country. I felt patriotic, and now I'm almost embarrassed. I'm fearful for my friends, my neighbors, my immigrant friends, my trans friends, my LGBTQ friends. This is not the America that I was raised in. Sometimes I fear for my friends who are veterans because this is not the country that they fought for. We've taken 200 plus years making this the place, the envy of the world. And now we're in a place where we're degenerating into a country none of us recognize. And it's all because we have people at the top who are either just disintegrators or degenerators or oligarchs who only want to plump their own nests, and we're making it a country that I don't recognize anymore. I'm fearful for my children, my grandchildren, and I want it to continue to be a place for all of us. For all of us. That's all I ask, is that we become a country again that meets the needs of all of us.
Beautiful said. Thank you.
Excellent.
I want to let everybody know that this is why we are here today, protesting. Our democracy is in danger, and I refuse to stay silent. I protested for women's rights, for LGBTQ rights, and against the gutting of Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. These programs are lifelines for millions, yet they are under attack by a few powerful people. First and foremost, we called on Congress to impeach Donald J. Trump. He is a felon who repeatedly disrespected our Constitution, and his efforts alongside Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation are aimed at consolidating power under the executive branch. Our entire system of government is built on a balance of power, and if we don't stand up now, we risk losing our democracy entirely. I also spoke out against Elon Musk's growing influence in our government. No billionaire should have unchecked power to shape policies that affect everyday Americans. Meanwhile, immigrants, the LGBTQ community, and other marginalized groups are being scapegoated for problems they didn't create. The real issue is the government that refuses to work for the people. We were silent, peaceful demonstrators, with many of us holding American flags, but were occasionally met with hostility. Some vocal Trump supporters heckled us, And at one point, a man in a black Jeep drove aggressively near us, which was dangerous. Another individual ran a red light while shouting at us. It was a stark reminder of the division in our country and why it is so important to stand up for democratic values. We assembled not just to our own rights, but for the rights of all Americans, and especially the future rights of our children and grandchildren. If Congress does not act, if we do not stand up now, things will get worse. That's why we gathered to demand action, to defend our Constitution, and to say loud and clear, Congress, do your job. Concerned citizens of Henry County, Iowa.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom O'Donnell. I live in Keosauqua, Iowa. Free press is very important to me. I was a reporter most of my life, and it is the last line of freedom. It is the bulwark that protects us from a corrupt and predatory government. We need to keep our free press, and free press is not just restricting free press is not just jailing journalists. It can be just basically tricking them into complying, extorting them into complying with the government. And that's what we're seeing right now. We have a government and an administration that is extorting our press, silencing them, and we cannot allow the press to comply with this, and we cannot allow the press to go silent. Please stand up for free press.
Due process is a right for all who are in America. So important. Thank you.
My biggest concern today is my immigrant neighbors. I love these people. They've been part of our community. They work hard. They're family oriented. And I find it awful, heartbreaking to hear the heinous things that are being said about them and the rumors that are being propagated. So today it's let's give civil rights to our immigrants, and actually let's recognize them for being the ones that were in the meat processing plants, and they were also, they're in our nursing homes taking care of our older citizens. They're doing a lot of the work in terms of fruit and field crop picking that most don't want to do, and their work ethic is so hard that they will do it in spite of the hardships. So mostly let's recognize that they're very important people in our society. Then the other part is this due process. If you don't, I mean, randomly and in haste, picking up people is terrifying them and me as a friend and as a neighbor. I don't want to see any of the people that I know being deported. And then thirdly, probably, I don't like what some people do, and there are plenty of Caucasians that commit heinous crimes. But I don't think prison that offers no contact to anybody is the solution, and especially one in a different country where supposedly we don't have any rule. We need to extend human rights even to the worst behaviors that people demonstrate. So that's today. There are several other reasons, our education system, and I'll stop with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, we have our own, we've got a lot of troubles, but it just seems like the president is just pissing away the U.S. Army. And I've made this sign that it works for anything, anything that comes up, no, we're not going to do that, no, we're not going to do that. And it just seems, and Congress not very
Tara. I have lived here in Mount Pleasant for a long time. I'm a lifelong Democrat, although that isn't really why I'm here today. The reason I'm here today is because we have had all of our rights taken away. I can remember when Mary had being before she ran for Congress, and she knocked on my door. We had a long talk about health care, because I'm a nurse, and all the things that she promised to do, and we had a lot of the same thoughts, and she has done none of those. In fact, now, because of our representatives, we have taken away from our education, we have taken away from our hospitals and our health care, we have taken away from our veterans, we have taken away from Medicaid, they're working on Medicare, Social Security, all the rights that we had because of our ancestors a long time ago have been taken away. The ones that we fought for the right for women to vote. We're trying to make that harder. We're trying to make it harder for everybody to vote. Their goal is for us to become Nazi Germany, which is why I carry this sign. I've had people tell me that, no, they are not Nazis. They are following Mein Kampf completely. And every single day there is a new atrocity that's taking place. I'm just kidding. I'm mad. I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired of people thinking that we're the bad guys. And I don't really care whether you think I'm a bad person or not. All I'm saying is that we're fighting for all of us. Not just for the people that believe the same way that we are, but for the people who live in this country, have rights, and they're all being taken away.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much for listening. I'm an old woman. I lived through the 60s. I did not burn any undergarments. I made it through without protesting, but I had absolutely total faith that Nixon would be held accountable and that our country would be safe. I do not have that feeling now, and so I'm out here. I'm protesting on behalf of my autistic grandson, of my children who are educators, of my husband who is dependent on VA, on anyone who has anything. The children who were deported with their mothers, the little child with stage 4 cancer, come on. In the 90s, we used to have a saying of compassionate conservative. I don't know what happened to that, but that has left the building. Please, please think about what we are doing and hold these people accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Jeff Baker. I'm a resident of Mount Pleasant and an adherent to the United States Constitution and the power of shared governance and powers of balance across the three branches of government. I remember that when President Biden was president, our representatives were concerned about executive overreach. And I'm not sure they're as concerned that we have a president who seeks authoritarian powers. And we know that those powers, all these executive pronouncements, are allowable only because he's declared a national emergency. But we also know Congress has the power to vote a resolution that says, no, this is not a national emergency, and all of these executive orders are null and void. So it's time to take back the power of Congress and put brakes on an authoritarian dictator wannabe. So, Congress, do your jobs, pass the resolution, nullify these executive orders, and bring sanity back to our government.
Hi, my name is Travis Terrell, and I'm actually running for Congress in our district to take our seat back from Marinette Miller-Meeks. I started this race very angry at everything that was taken from people like me and families like mine in towns like this. But over time, something more powerful than anger happened. I started becoming hopeful. I became hopeful when I would see people out here resisting every single week, standing up for their beliefs and not just being silenced. And between the anger and the hope, now I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. My whole life, I wanted to fight for the Constitution that Republicans are scrapping. the MAGA company talks about how they want to make America great again, but every single amendment added to the Constitution made it better. Everyone made it greater, and everyone made this country stronger. And they're not just going to scrap it without a fight. I dreamt my whole life of being in the military. I was sitting in 10th grade American government class when the planes hit the towers. And from that moment, I knew I was going to fight for this country and defend this Constitution. But then in 11th grade, I crushed my foot, and my family couldn't afford the surgery. So between a broken healthcare system and a broken foot, my dream of defending this country got taken away from me. I failed my Army physical. But now, I have a second chance to defend this country and this Constitution that they can't take from me, that a broken foot will not stop me. The Republican Party is already launching attacks on me during my lunch break, saying that I'm a Soros puppet, that I am taking money from billionaires. They say I don't belong in this race. And the reason they think I don't belong in this race is because I won't kiss their rings. I won't compromise. I won't work with the billionaires to continue screwing over people like this. I will go to DC, and I'm going to take back everything they took from us. And so Henry County was the first county that got me the signatures to be on the primary. This is where my story started. This is where I got my second chance, and I started believing in that dream of defending the Constitution again. And with counties like Henry County, I'm going to finish that story, and we're going to take back the power that should have always been ours. Thank you.
My name is Dave. I'm proud to be here with my fellow Americans at the Veterans Memorial at the Henry County, Iowa Courthouse. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution is one of the greatest achievements of mankind to represent the freedoms of a human race and a people. It is under threat. It's being challenged at every turn. What you see here today with these folks is the argument of the strength of that First Amendment. You see all 5 parts of the First Amendment on display. Freedom of speech, the signs that we say, the words that we have to say. Freedom of the press. We invite the area press to join us here, and they have come and they have interviewed us to hear our story. The right to assemble, to gather in peacefully and make statements and gather as citizens is on display here. The right to petition our government. We talk to people here about how to write to their congressmen and their senators and letters to the editor. That is the right to petition our government. And yes, the freedom of religion, because so many of these people are meeting here on Sunday at noon after they have left their services at their churches. All 5 aspects of the freedom of the First Amendment are on display here today, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Brian Carter. I am a Lifelong resident of Iowa. And the last 50 years, resident of Mount Pleasant, Iowa. And I stand here in front of the courthouse, memorial to so many of the people in the county who served in the military over time, to let you know that the people here today, in fact a lot of people in our county, are not at all happy with what's going on with the Trump administration. And I would just talk about one aspect. There is an American legal resident married to an American citizen who's been essentially kidnapped and sent to a prison in El Salvador. Now that is bad by itself. But it represents the even greater problem because the Trump administration, when told by lower court to bring this guy back, said, we will appeal this. Well, I guess that's their right. He appealed it. It went all the way immediately to the United States Supreme Court, who took it in the process to speed up serious cases. And by a 9-0 ruling, they said, you need to facilitate bringing this guy back to the United States if you want to put him on trial for something. You can't do what you're doing here. And A couple weeks later, we're still waiting for the Trump administration to do something. Essentially, they are ignoring the United States Supreme Court. And if he can get away with that and with other issues, then we have a serious problem for our nation that we're going to have to deal with. So, Ted's done a lot of bad things, but this is one of the more egregious ones. We need to speak about it and keep talking about it.
Thank you.